How do I get my team to use AI the right way? That's a question I hear from hundreds of business owners every year. And in today's video, I'm actually answering that question for you. So let's get started. Hi, I'm Chris with Niche Your Business, where we help business owners build their niches out and their marketing and implementing AI across the country. In today's video, we're talking about how do you get your team to implement AI the right way, the adoption of AI. You know, one of the things I hear from business owners every day is my team is so scared that I'm going to replace them with AI. If that's the message you're hearing from your team, then today's video is definitely for you. But if that's the message you're hearing from your team, that's also a failure on the leadership side. You see, when we implement AI for organizations, when we do it internally, we follow a four-part system. That is solving problems, removing frictions, improving the customer experience, and improving the employee experience. How do we show people how we're using AI to support our people, not replace our people? Look, there's a lot of things that AI can do that maybe an employee was doing, but the problem is, if we're not looking at growing, we're not looking at potentially scaling or improving other things, then yes, jobs are going to get cut, jobs are going to get eliminated. But instead of those other things they were doing, how do they go and do something else? Let me ask you a question. What if you want one of your team members and you said, look, what if there's a way for me to show you how to increase your paycheck by 20%? Is that something you'd be interested in? Majority of them are probably going to say yes. Or what if I can show you how to remove 20% of the stress from your day-to-day schedule? Something you're interested in, probably if it's more of a service role. But this is exactly how we can use AI. We have to look at it and show, okay, how do I use AI to support my people? When working on my master's degree in AI and digital marketing at Wake Forest, there was a case study I had to work on. We were building a blood pressure app for senior citizens to use. And what the goal of the case study was how do we improve adoption rate on this blood pressure app? What we discovered was the amount of steps and manual data entry and all these things that people were having to do. It's one of the reasons why we didn't have the adoption rate we wanted. So we had to come up with a plan. That plan was, hey, how do we increase the adoption rate? Well, one way was removing so many steps, making things really easy. And so this, with adoption rate, with AI, think about this. If you're creating 15, 20 different steps for your team to do, more than likely, you're not going to get them to adopt using it. So what I mean by this is whether you're using Microsoft or Google, whatever the native system is, when using your AI, you want to use maybe a Copilot or a Gemini as much as you can. Use it native to what they're already doing. This is going to help you increase your adoption rate. Also, you need to be sending the message to your team that you're using this to support them. So by doing that, you need to understand what the problems, the frictions is they're facing every day that you can help them with. And I'll give you an example. For us, when we built an AI agent, we were missing deal information, like year bill, square footage, and things like that. My team may have to spend 2 days going back and forth with a customer to get that information. Well, instead, I built an AI agent that goes and finds that data, puts it on the deal. They don't have to worry about it at all. That was a friction I removed. And guess what it did? It improved the customer experience and the employee experience. They weren't spending 2 hours going to try to find that data. Instead, they could actually spend 2 hours meeting with clients. They could spend 2 hours figuring out what the best solution for a client is. So that's just one example there. As we're looking at this AI adoption rate and how do we increase it? How do we get our team to adopt it so they don't feel like we're replacing them? Look, if they feel like we're going to replace them, we need to show them, hey, instead of doing this over here, you're going to be able to do this. Here's how your role is going to be changing a little bit. Here's how your paycheck could be expanded. Here's how the stress could come down. So this is how we get our team to adopt AI the right way. We have to help them understand that, look, the AI works for us. We don't work for the AI. AI is not some copy and paste magic tool, just like some magic CRM is not. It's part of the process. AI is just a piece, a small piece of the puzzle, which means it's a piece of the pie. When all these pieces come together, create a full pie. So I want you to remember about that when you are trying to get your team to adopt. And look, if you're struggling to get your team to adopt using AI, and down in the description of this video, you can reach out to me. You can also look at joining our AI for Insurance Agencies community, where we actually teach agency owners and other business owners how to adopt AI the best way inside of their organization. I'm Chris with Niche Your Business, and I want to say thank you for watching today's video. And before you leave, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to share, subscribe, and like the channel below. Thank you.